Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. It's been a busy week. I'm Katrina here at the weekly every Monday live chat with Sow and Tare, and welcome. So, if you've not been here before, how I usually do this is we usually read the comments. Everybody says hello. That's the beginning, and if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. And if you have anything you want to share about what you're doing, what you're growing, go ahead and put that in the chat. We always like to hear what everybody's up to, what everybody's doing. And somewhere in the beginning, somewhere in the middle, I will have a pre-planned topic of discussion. So here we go. And welcome. I got to scroll up to the top because you guys started way before me. And Dawn is here. Welcome, Dawn. Second leg. You're late, huh? Busy around here. All right. Andy Rabbit's also claiming second and got a challenge here. And welcome. Ed is also here. Welcome, Ed. And you guys are so funny going second and second. It's okay. You're here. We're good. Oh boy. Steve is also claiming second. Maybe YouTube's a little off. That could be, huh? That's so funny. Verna's here. Verna's saying hey. Hey, Verna. And Verna is Vay's Place. She has the Blue Little Wrench, and she is. If you would like to learn about growing food in an apartment setting, she has a channel, and I would check out her channel. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And Erica's here. Good evening, Erica. She says good evening. Good evening. And hello, all. Steve says, oh, Steve, you're funny. You're back and forth. So everybody's saying hi and arguing about which like is which. If you guys like the video so far, hit it. Oh, you guys are funny. I see all these faces. You guys are using the emoji thing, huh? Buster's here. Hi to all. Hi, Buster. Hope you're doing well. I am here. I am here. I was on time. Everybody saying hi to Buster. Folster Farms is here. Welcome, Folster Farms. Oh, you don't like the live reaction button? Sorry. I don't know. We can vote at the end if we want to keep it or not. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't either way. All right. Oh, everybody did. Okay. Maybe we will get rid of it for the next live. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me which one. All right. It's fun pushing them. And you don't like it, but it's fun pushing them. I have no idea if it actually does anything. I have no idea. I'll try and remember to take it off, though. It seems like people generally don't like it. Oh, look at you in blue. I like it. Great color. Thank you. I like blue too. I like blue too. You have to be careful where you wear blue here because, gangs. Same with red. But I'm pretty safe where I am on this side of town. And Dawn says, Andy Rabbit, that was you pushing all those? I thought it was stuck on. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, Foster Farm's still looking for the dad jokes. He comes a little late. He's at an event every Monday for a little bit. Yeah, Ed, I heard that story. So Ed's wife decided to do something with the drain water from his freeze dryer. So those of you that don't know, when you freeze dry things, the water freezes on the edges of the drum, and then you take your stuff out, you deal with it, and then you can defrost it or naturally defrost. And all of that defrost goes down a hole and into a bucket. Well, there's also some stuff that happens with the pump. And according to Ed, it is not tasty. Don't try it. Oh, your dad was a joke? Steve. Yep, have to wait for Eric. Mandy. Yeah, drain water. Yuck. Exactly. Oh. Yeah. Oh, and Ed's saying hi. We've said hi, but we can say hi again. Hi. You got to get even with her, Don says. Oh, boy. It was a mistake? How did that be a mistake? Anyway, don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. I was thinking, like, if it was, like, pure liquid from, like, I just did tomatoes, right? If it was tomato liquid, maybe it could be used in something, but it doesn't seem like that's something you should do. Maybe water a plant or the driveway. Yeah. Oh. No, Dawn, other way around. It's the water that comes out. G, I don't know how to say your name. I'm going to call you G. Gigi? Is it Gigi? I'm going to call you Gigi until you tell me otherwise. Hi, Gigi. Welcome. Andy Rabbit says, my roof is finished and I got enough metal left over to use on the new quail closure. Awesome. Jennifer, welcome, Jennifer, says, hello, Katrina. Have you ever heard of Vago garden beds? I only recently heard of them from Living Traditions Homestead. They got them, and they look very similar to what Mark with Self-Sufficient Me has in Australia, and they look sturdy. I don't know. I haven't researched them, though. My garden beds I have made out of urbanite. I jackhammered up my park strip, which is the area between the sidewalk and the street, and into chunks. And so I have it, they're about that, the cement was about that deep. And I have 3 layers for almost all of the ones in the back are made out of that. 3 layers high. So the beds, they look shorter than they are because the pathway, the wood chips are higher. So like the beds in the back are like that deep, but they look like they're that deep because the wood chips are up on top of it. So yeah, I think if you're gonna buy a pre-made bed, I would definitely go with a metal. And I know that they have different coatings and stuff, and all I know about those ones in particular, that I had never heard of them before, Living Traditions Homestead has them, but it looks very similar to the ones that I don't remember the brand that he has, that Mark from Self-Sufficient Me has. That Birdie or something? I don't remember what the brand was, but yeah. Yep. Did anyone remind Katrina? I actually was missing an ingredient that I didn't think I was missing. We're talking about a fire cider. I have not made it yet, but I got a lemon from my neighbor. So my lemon tree has all unripe lemons, and lemon is one of the ingredients. So I have a lemon from my neighbor I got this weekend. And I did not make it this weekend. I was not feeling the greatest. I got hit in the head with a volleyball and had like a sideways whiplash, like chink chink. And so my whole back is not feeling the greatest. It's feeling better than it was, but I'm doing okay. So I did not do much on Saturday and a little bit, but not very much on Sunday. So yeah, excuses. All right. And the water, yes, so Ed is clarifying, it's the water that drains out of the freeze dryer. Yeah. I did not forget. Oh, no, Dawn, it's from the freeze dryer. Yeah, that would be gross to try. We don't need to freeze dry water. He's going to have to run laps for this. Wendy, are you listening? Ed's sharing your secrets. Fullsmith Farms. Mandy's going, ew, freeze dry water. Yeah. Think the drain water would be good for houseplants. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. I don't think the oil actually goes into that from the pump. I think it just goes, I think they're separate, but I also don't know that for sure. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I don't recommend it. No, I bet not, Ed. Andy Rabbit, you're done with Christmas shopping for the grandkids. It is not winter yet. But that's good. And Steve has a special thing on the 14th of what's happening on the 14th of November. I don't know. 14th of this month, I will be going up. That's Saturday. So I'm going to be heading up for the weekend at my parents' in Oregon. There is going to be a solar eclipse, so I'm going to go up for that. Hopefully it's not cloudy, because it's supposed to be cloudy. But when we went up for the total eclipse in, what was that, 2017, it was smoky, and luckily the smoke cleared just like that part of the day, and we could see it, and then the smoke was around the horizon layer. So hopefully we'll be able to see it, and it's not just, oh, look, there's the clouds. So cross the fingers for that. I will be back for the live next week. I'm flying in, so in case things don't actually match up and I'm late, you'll know why. But I should be here. I should be getting back by 3:30, so plenty of time. All right. Andy says, I found an auction on Saturday and hit the jackpot on toys. There you go. That works. And Mandy says, I made my raised beds out of old cinder blocks. The sheep can't knock them down now. See, that's something that everybody has a different challenge. And everybody has a different challenge. I was using materials available to me. I thought I was going to do a bunch of wooden raised beds. Now, I do have 2 beds in the front that are wood, and they're designed after my neighbors designed some stuff like that. And in theory, it's good, but it's better to not do it out of wood, because wood rots and termites are a thing, especially here. So, as they're designed so that as they rot, you can just remove a board and put a new board in. But I think things that are not wood is probably better. Yeah. There goes Andy Rabbit. I'm guessing. Dawn says, Verna says, and you hit the jackpot. Yeah, Andy hit the jackpot. Dawn says, it gets far too hot here to grow in metal or concrete. It cooks everything. Yeah, I think, Dawn, I think the ones that Jennifer was asking about, they have a coating on them, and it's light colored, so that helps. But there is a coating on it, and I don't know exactly what kind of coating it is, because some coating does actually reflect heat, and some of it would just be protection from scratches. So I don't know what that one in particular has on it, but yeah. Andy Rabbit says, oh, raised beds, too many if there is any leftover. Nandy says, Dan says hi. Hi, Dan. Welcome. All right. For those of you who are Katrina's kits, thank you. And I am planning out what we're doing, and so watch for that to come out. I'm going to do it before I leave. I'm leaving on an airplane. Thursday night late. So I'm going to get that out to you guys. Then I'm going to have a couple options for times since we have kind of a manageable amount of people. And so I want to put that to a vote to you guys. If you guys are not a part of Katrina's kits, this is something that I just started, and we're going to be doing a live cook with me for members only. So you can see there should be a join button down below. If you can't find it, I made a video on how to find it if you're an Apple person. Hopefully Apple people could at least find it. Anyway, so that is something that I'm starting, and I really am looking forward to this. It's going to be awesome. For the first one, we're going to make two things. We're going to make one thing, and then we're going to prep for next month's. We're planning ahead. All right. Anyway, there's my little ad. But watch for that over the next couple days. And let's see. Berta says, Mandy, did you put T-posts in between the holes? Yeah, that's a good idea to stabilize it. They also make these little pins when they make retaining walls. That's what they use. They're not really the cinder blocks, but they're like the flat ones with the decorative edge. They're cinder blocks, but they use these little pins. They're about that long, and they go in certain places. Like you can use that too, but you can also use rebar. Yeah, that's a good question though. And yeah, hopefully the sheep will stay out of it. And Dawn says, you cleaned up at the auction and still awfully lucky. You know, Andy Rabbit has all the luck. We need to come other places. Dawn says, oh, Katrina, I'm sorry. It's all right. We're doing good. And Mandy says, your volleyball folks are serious. The one person in particular, so it's a community volleyball, and so that means it's a mixed ability, mixed ages, all of that. Unfortunately, we have a lot of middle school, beginning high school kids that overwhelmed it. No, the person who did it was a serve. It was out. I was ducking out of the way, and it was a really fast one because this guy he's like really good. And I did not move fast enough. So it's fine. I'm okay. Andy Rabbit says, this must be my rabbit year. What year is it? What year of the what is it right now? I don't remember. I only know this at the beginning of the year, and then I forget. Is it the year of the rabbit? I don't know. Steve, did you miss the first part? You forgot to press play? Was I really quiet for a long time? You're funny, Steve. Well, now you know. We're here. Ed says, good thing I didn't get hit in the head with the ball, as they would need a new ball. It'd be flat on one side. Oh, no, it was a hard hit. Wendy's sleeping. All right. Berta says, with freeze dryer water, you would be left with the chemical in the water. Chemical from where? From the pump? Yeah. Oh, wow, Ed. She worked a 14-hour day. Yeah, she always works too much. But, yeah. Hey, Kelly's here. Feather Connection Homestead. Hey, I'm here. Kelly, we had a wonderful conversation last week that I thought you needed to make a t-shirt for because it was really funny. We talked about sandboxes and how some people are having a hard time finding sand. And so, maybe going to the park with your quail, the sandbox. And so your t-shirt would be with yourself and your little quail in the sandbox and looking up at a police officer saying, but officer, we just came here for a bath. Anyway, you're welcome. Oh, and Kelly, are you done with your vacation, or are you still on vacation? I waved south to you. Did you see it? Hey, Disney lady, Folster Farm says, yep. That's why I waved south. Dawn says 14th of this month, I set my Halloween hatch and it's partial eclipse, so I will have some spooky quail. Yeah, it is, I forget what they call it. It's a full eclipse. It's not a total eclipse. So what that means is there's a ring of fire around the moon, or around the shadow, around the moon, and it's not a total eclipse. There was a total eclipse at my parents' in 2017, so that was really cool to see, where it covered everything. So yeah, they have their glasses ready. Andy Rabbit is crossing fingers. All right. And Verna's also having ghouly goblin-y hatch. Is that what we should call it? Oh, I gotta scroll up. Boo, Silver Creek says. Boo. We're not quite to Halloween, but we're getting there. Andy's also going to have some Halloween babies. Steve says I call the interaction button the Andy button. Oh boy. Andy Rabbit says, "Ooh, Silver Creek, you scared me." Verna says, Katrina, I had to cover my green stock tonight as there's a frost advisory tonight. Wow. Yeah, we don't have, we have like a, actually, I don't know what we have here because I've been paying attention to a site south of me. I don't have to pay attention to the rain forecast here. But about an hour south, it has a 20% chance of raining. Anybody who knows me for work knows which side I'm keeping an eye on. But it was cloudy most of the day. It got sunny like, I don't know, 3:30 to 4:15, something like that, and now it's cloudy again. So yeah, there's a storm that's going all the way across the country, but it's Pacific Northwest, and then it kind of swoops down and gets bigger on the eastern side. Yeah. Well, good luck with the frost. And Dawn says, over, that's right. You are with me and Andy on the Halloween hatch. It's good. Good. Oh, I didn't say hi to Silver Creek. Hi. I just read your comment. Boo. Welcome. And Andy is excited for the Halloween hatch. And Dawn says, I guess I better check my low tonight. Yeah, we're getting to the time of year where you really want to check things. I was going to actually plant fall plants this weekend, and then pain happened. So it's not going to happen, and it probably won't happen before I leave. So it'll happen when I get back. Yeah. Yep. Buster says, if you plant in metal, paint it white. Yep, exactly. So if you're afraid of it getting too hot, you can paint it white and that reflects heat. Sometimes if you have a raised bed, depending on where you are and how much sun exposure there is and how much it would heat up the soil, raised beds are actually really good for heating up the soil before the ground because it's higher. Excuse me. It's higher, and it'll actually warm that ground in the bed will warm up faster, meaning earlier, not like faster, but it'll warm up earlier than in the ground. So yeah, good to know. Fulster Farm says, have you guys ever heard of wicking beds? Love them. Really good for off-grid situations without running water. Yes, I have. I have a friend who, she's like, you inspired me to make this. I'm like, what? Because we talked about it once. And I guess she took that as how to. And I'm like, I was just saying, yeah, I know what it is. Yeah, wicking, and she's growing all sorts of stuff, but she had planted asparagus along one end. And the wicking bed, it has a little bobber in it, so that you know if it's too low to fill it with water. But what it does is it's a water underneath, and you can use a variety of things in there. I mean, you can use garbage bags to hold the water. If you can use tarp, you can use pond liner will probably work the best, or a or a hard plastic, but pond liner I think would work best. And you have that in there and you fill it up with something that is porous or something that takes up space that will leave space for water. And there's many ways to do this, by the way. It's not just the way I'm describing it. This is the way I've seen it done. So like you can put like lava rock or even pea gravel gravel will have some sort of structure, because what you're looking for is once that's there, then you put the soil on top, and there can be, I've seen people do just the soil on top of that in general, which I would think the soil would then go down into it, and I don't think that would work very well. But then I have seen it where you have a weed fabric there, and it actually wicks up through that. It's like a thin weed fabric, and it actually wicks the water up through the weed fabric into the soil layer, and it keeps it at a kind of a even moisture. And then the other way I've seen it, so that's one way, is with like a basin that you actually fill up, and there has like, you can put like a float and on a flag and stuff. So when the flag is down here, you need to fill it. Or I've also seen it where you take like through it, and then that wicks out into the soil that it's buried in. So there's a couple different ways that you can do it, and there's more than a couple of different ways, I'm sure. But they're pretty fun. I've never done one myself. I think they have really great, I think it's a really great idea to do. I just haven't done it. Yeah. Good thoughts. And Verna has a garden update after live. Awesome. Silver Creek is saying hi, Verna mums. 37 tonight, Dawn says. I guess my tomatoes will get hit with frost. You better get out there and get some green tomatoes, because you can make those into all sorts of stuff. You can make them into salsa. You can make fried green tomatoes. You can make a whole bunch of stuff with them, or you can leave them out and they will ripen, and they won't be quite as good as your vine ripened ones, but they'll be good enough to have. Yeah. Pretty cool. All right. Steve is asking Buster, why do you have to paint the metal? And he says white keeps the metal cooler. Yeah, it's a reflective thing. And again, it's going to depend on the type of metal and the location of the metal of if you want to do that. And then also, and not only does it reflect the heat, but it will also, if your metal is something that rusts, not all metal rusts. If it is something that rusts, if you paint it, then it'll protect it from rusting. So, yeah, there you go. Good tip from Buster. Mandy says, I used repurposed rebar and filled with concrete. They aren't going anywhere. You filled it with concrete. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. Dawn says, Katrina, Andy's luck doesn't rub off on us either. Maybe we gotta spend some more time. Yeah, and Mandy says to Dawn, throw a sheet over them, the tomatoes. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. That is a pipe dream. I can't. Oh yeah. Sorry. Hopefully it doesn't get down quite that far, and hopefully you're able to harvest some. Hopefully you're able to harvest some of them. It is the year of the rabbit, Myrna. Okay. I always know that at the very beginning of the, towards the beginning of the year, and then I forget. 2023 is the year of the water rabbit. Okay. I don't know what a water rabbit is. Hopefully that's good. Oh. Andy Rabbit says, I don't know what year it is, but I just seem to have some good luck this year. That's good, except for your beans. All your luck for your beans went into everything else, right? It's okay. Fulster says, the sign of the rabbit is a symbol of longevity, peace, and prosperity in Chinese culture. 2023 is predicted to be a year of hope. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, we have it or we need it. Yeah. Verna says, if you freeze dried a tray of water, then you would only have chemicals in the tray. Oh, got it. So whatever things that were in the tray besides water, because we have some stuff, would be in there. Got it. All right. Oop. You guys jumped. Hang on. Oh my gosh, you guys have been talkative. I gotta find you. All right. Mandy's laughing at me. LOL, bath in the park. Sand bath. Steve says, it's easy to reconstitute freeze-dried water. Just add water. Oh boy. And Mandy is going to say the same thing. It will be a batch of witches. Oh boy. Andy Rabbit says, I once saw a bag of dehydrated water. It just said add water to rehydrate. The water rabbit. Oh boy. Dawn says, my hens will be witches and the roos will be warlocks. If you keep them, you got to name them fun things, right? Yeah. The witches are male and females. Warlock is satanic witches. I don't know. She can name them whatever she wants. Silver says, I want to make my pigeon some dragon costumes as they fly dragons over my neighborhood. Oh my goodness. That would be incredibly funny. And that would go viral. Yeah. Hey, Bob's here. Howdy, y'all. Hi, Bob. Hopefully you're doing well. Are you dipping down into temperatures yet? We're talking about that. We haven't really done that here, but it's, we're not where winter happens usually. It happens, just not that harsh. Andy Rabbit says, I want some warlocks in the batch of eggs I'm setting for sure. Not all witches. That would be funny, Silver. Yeah, Steve, I agree. Or bats. You could do bats too. And Andy's saying stuff funny too. Silver Creek says, LOL, Steve, would be like Lord of the Rings in Texas. Or like the monkeys in Wizard of Oz, right? The flying monkeys. Bob says, I got an egg from every adult hen today. String lights on a timer did the trick. Awesome. Good job. Sorry, Verna, I'm giving you yawns. It's been a long week and it's only Monday. I just have to say that. Can I say that? It's been a long week and it's only Monday? Yeah. Oh my gosh. You guys, we don't need to be specific about witches and warlocks. Sue says warlocks gain magic through a pact of some kind with devil or demon. Oh boy. Yeah, everybody likes your idea, Silver Creek, of doing dragons for your birds. I think it's time to get sewing. Yeah. Sorcerers gain magic naturally. Okay, now we know. Yeah, string lights. Are string lights Christmas lights? Are this the same thing? Bob? Or whatever that... Oh, Silver Creek, whatever that TV show is about dragons and elves and such. I don't watch TV anymore. I don't really watch... I did not have a television in my house until Manuel moved in. The room the television is in is also the quail room, which used to be called the library because I didn't allow myself to have electronics in there so I could read and write and do stuff. But now it's the media room or the quail room. You have to have a name when you have a house as small as I do, that your spare bedroom is not a spare bedroom. You have to name it. Make it sound fancy. Yeah. That's great, Bob. Buster said. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's great. Everybody saying hi to Bob. Well, the albino family, and that's evil and stuff? I don't know what show you're talking about. I have no idea what show you're talking about. Is it new? Because I don't know. Bob says a string of white LED lights, found some at dollar store 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so now and then like after Christmas is the time to get like Christmas lights if you want Christmas lights. I use rope lights. I could use Christmas lights too. Doesn't matter. And they work. Andy Ravis says, I don't have time to watch TV. I watch too much YouTube. Yeah. Well, that's easier because it's on your own time, which I guess a lot of television is now too. It's on your own time. You can play it and listen to it while you're doing something else. Like that's something that I find myself doing a lot. Yeah. Yeah. And Silver Creek is laughing, saying same. Steve, TV, which Facebook group is that? I love it. I love it. Silver Creek says, I have a YouTube running in my pocket more than anything else during the day. Yep. Verna says, Katrina, I got my fig tree and lemongrass. The fig tree has 5 figs on it. You said it had figs. I didn't know it had 5. That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, there's one fig. I didn't check today. Maybe it's ripe. There's one fig I'm waiting on that I know is almost ripe, and it's a tiger panache, which is it's striped yellow and green, and they're really good. And I've been waiting on it, and I'm like, will you please hurry up and ripen so I can eat you? Yeah. Yep. Andy Rabbit says, I'm running out of quail and rabbit videos to watch. LOL. You're welcome to restart on mine. There's a lot. Get my watch hours up. I was looking and I have over 400 actual videos now. That's not counting the shorts. And so I just rolled over 400, I think, this last week. So that's pretty cool. And think about it. And I'm like, I haven't even touched on a whole bunch of topics. Or recipes or all these things. And there's so much to talk about. It's never going to run out of content as long as something's going on, right? Yeah. Welcome to Rewatch. Silver Creek says, Katrina, how do you feel about the copper in your garden? There's so much controversy over it. I'm curious of your opinion. No judgment here, just curious. The only thing I use the copper on is my peach trees. And yes, they are over the pond. And Silver Creek, I know you can say all sorts of things about that. My pond, yeah, I'll eat the watercress. It's not something in my diet a lot, but what I'm saying is like 3 times a year when I do it, the pond gets extra copper. Copper kills fungus. Fungus is good. Fungus is bad, right? The fungus in your understory, in your for your trees, the mycorrhizae, that's a fungus. It's a mushroom, fungus. That is really good stuff to keep. It's really good stuff that you want to nurture and grow and all of that. The peach leaf curl, also fungus. That gets killed with the copper. So I think I'm going to answer this a couple different ways. It's a good question. It's a really good question. You can use it. You can go multiple routes. This year, I did not spray this winter because we had rain, and you don't spray in the rain because it doesn't do anything, right? You want to have a couple days of dry weather so that copper hits that leaf bud, and it actually impacts the fungus on the leaf bud. So it started to have some peach leaf curl at the very beginning when it came out, and then it disappeared. So a healthy tree will fight it off. Now, how healthy is that tree that it can fight it off and give you tasty fruit in the same year? That happened this year. This is the first year that's happened. So I think you can weigh your pros and cons there. I think you can avoid it altogether if you get a peach leaf curl resistant, because they're not, it's going to be resistant. It's the highest quality you can get. If you get a resistant variety, that's what I would go with. Mine, honestly, 2 of them I got at Grocery Outlet in the back, and the other one I got on a ugly plant sale. So that was not what I was thinking when I bought them. I didn't really even look them up. I'm like, oh, this looks good. This is good. Let's take them home. The other thought to that is, if you're overusing copper, you're probably going to have an issue, because there's people that are like, oh, this is what we use it. Oh, 3 times as good. Every month is better. No, like, just because something's good in a little amount does not mean it's good in a big amount. So something that's, you need a little bit of arsenic to live, but too much and you're no longer living, right? So I think there's a balance, and that balance has pretty much remained consistent in the orchard community for a while, which is 3 times a year if you have an issue. Like, if you know you're going to have an issue. If you don't have peach leaf curl, I wouldn't spray with copper. If you don't have something that you're actually treating, I wouldn't use it. Now, that being said, my pathways have tons of wood chips, and those wood chips are a community of mycorrhizae and mini organisms and little tiny critters that fix themselves. So if you have something that is bad for them, but a community that's healthy, you might kill some of them, but the ecosystem that you've created is going to recover it. And like I said, if you're not spraying it constantly, then that ecosystem will recover. So that is my thinking. Good question. Good question. So one, if you don't have peach leaf curl, there's no reason. I'm narrowing in on this particular disease because that's what I'm treating for. There may be other things you're treating for, but if you don't have a condition that you are treating, then there's no reason to spray copper. And I wouldn't do it. So same thing with, anything that you're spraying on your trees. If you're not doing it because you're treating something, I wouldn't do it. Now, if it's something like a compost tea or something like that, go for it. But if it's something that's gonna have potentially harmful effects to something, I wouldn't bother. Because I know I have it. I do spray it every year, except for like last year when it was too wet, and there was another year where there's a couple other years that I didn't spray and just I didn't get fruit. It was really, really poor quality fruit and not very much of it. So that's a decision that I make. And I believe that if you have a healthy soil ecosystem, then your soil can recover much faster. So let me know if that was way too long. But there's your answer. Okay. Hopefully it won't jump on me. I'm sure it will jump. Dawn says, I run YouTube all day when working and evening, then watch one TV show before bed. All right. Got to keep that one show, huh? Hopefully it's a good one. Silver Creek says, trust me, I believe in some weird stuff that I would never mention to anybody on YouTube. Uh-oh. Bob says, put green maters in a brown paper bag to ripen. That is a good idea. If you want it to ripen faster, throw a banana in there, because bananas off-gas ethylene. Ethylene? I'm not saying that right, am I? They off-gas something that, that makes fruit ripen fast. And if you want them to ripen slower, take the banana away. Uh-oh. Verna says, Bucky would not mate with Smokey. Does that mean, is that the one that got put in already? Does that mean she's pregnant? Maybe that means she's pregnant. Hopefully we have 2 pregnant does. We will see. We'll see. Dawn says, I just wanted the load of ripe tomatoes, but looks like I won't get any. Hubby said, oh, it ain't gonna frost. I said, you need to train him. So yes, go out there. Man. Hopefully it doesn't frost. You're able to do it tomorrow. Yeah. Silver Creek says white reflects solar radiation the best. Yep. Okay, so the rabbits, that was their first time together. We'll try again tomorrow. Verna, I had that same issue. I had to try mine. Both ravioli and rigatoni were like confused about what was going on. And it was so funny because then, which one was it? I think it was ravioli. Which one was it? One of them, like, once she figured out what was going on, like, she didn't want to leave. She's like, no, this is my new best friend. I'm staying here. It was pretty funny. Both of them just had one fall off, though, so we shall see at the end of the month. We might have Halloween babies. It'll be a little bit late for that, but that's okay. Silver Creek says Game of Thrones. That's a TV show I was thinking about. Okay, I've never seen it. Okay, you guys jumped. Hang on, I gotta rewind. Rewinding. My goodness, my story time took a while. Oh, fast forwarding. There we go. Don says, I know one thing his to do before he leaves tomorrow is to pick every single tomato that is ripe. Yep. And maybe some that aren't. Right? Yep. Silver Creek says, not going to lie, I definitely had to Google it. What? Oh, the show? Yeah, I don't know. Andy Rabbit says, yes, keep trying. Hopefully it will happen faster than sooner. Yeah. Good luck, Verna. Good luck. Yeah, exactly what Verna says. I think, Dawn, you should have him pick all the tomatoes, especially if he's not likely to go out there again. Yeah. Mandy says, green maters dipped in egg batter and rolled in cornmeal and fried in bacon grease. Oh, yeah. Get your southern on, baby. Oh, yeah. Silver Creek says it's still the year of tiger until February 1st. Oh, so this year was not the year of the rabbit? I don't know. Sliced. Oh, you don't want us to take a whole tomato and plop it? You could bake that. You could probably bake them and then, I don't know, I'm making something up. Roar? That's a lion. Sue says, Mandy, please stop. You make my mouth water. Yeah, Mandy, are you bringing treats for everybody? Verna says, 2023 is the year of the water rabbit, starting from January 22 and ending on February 9, 2024. Okay. Sign of the rabbit is a symbol of longevity, peace, and prosperity in Chinese culture. Now we know. Dawn says he won't pick anything tonight. He just came in and is getting his dinner heated up. And after he eats, we'll take a nap for an hour. Better put on the headset. Oh, boy. Yeah, let me yell that louder. Hopefully you got there, Dawn. Mandy says, drooling affects your speech. Erica says, my dad loves fried green tomatoes. Mom always picks some before they ripen. You know, I tried it, I think, a couple times, and it was good. It was fine. It's, to me, it's not something to be like, oh my gosh, I have to have that. But it was good. Ed says, Dawn, name them after the Bewitched characters. Yep. Jennifer says, I ordered some different color yarrow seeds. I started them in my IDOO. I don't know what that is. Planter. And it only took them 2 days to germinate. Wow. I don't actually know how fast they germinate. I just know that they spread readily here. I started mine in the front box, in the cherry box, and it was a hot pink one. And it has since, it's no longer in that box. It's since taken over this whole front side of the yard and has gone on to this side of the yard. And actually seeded into the little bed that I have there that I hadn't planted anything in, which is where Verna got hers. So, yeah, it does self-seed readily, at least here. Andy Rabbit says, rabbits are my lucky animals. Yep. They and babies? I don't know. Bob says, temps high 30s at night. I moved the heater plate from the brooder to the outside hutch for my 4-week-olds. That's awesome. Yeah, the babies in the aviary, they must be 3 weeks old now. I actually don't know when they were hatched. I know I got to them when they were a couple days old. Because before then, I would just go in and say goodnight to them, check food, water, whatever. And Mom was always on the nest, and she was probably on babies, not just on the eggs. But they're all running around doing great now, so that's good. Melissa, welcome, Melissa. Says, do you like jackets? If it's cold enough, yeah. My dad likes to joke that I will be outside in a tank top at 25 degrees. And it's kind of not a joke because I have done this. I'm fairly warm-blooded, and yeah. It's so funny. I went into a store one time in the winter. I walked in and there was winter here in California. It was chilly out, but I came in and the lady who owned the store, she turned around, she goes, "Why are you naked?" and I wasn't. I had pants and tank top. So, yeah, jackets are nice if it's cold or if it's windy. Windy cold is definitely cold. Verna says, Andy, were you born in the year of the rabbit? Oh, yeah, I don't know what year that mine was. Dawn says, Ed, I don't remember all the Bewitched characters, but I'll think of something. Yeah. Yep. And Bob says, yes, string lights are typically for Christmas trees. Yeah, Christmas trees. Because they have those little string lights, and then they have like these bigger ones meant for like party get-togethers. But yeah, the littler ones is less electricity. Ooh, Dawn. What else do you want him to do? Dawn says, hubby heard Katrina and just said he would take a sheet out and cover the tomatoes over. Dawn, what else do you need? Come on, let's work together. No, that is fabulous because he gets to eat them too, right? Not just you. Yeah, it'd be good. Summer Creek says RV is for sports ball or whatever fake entertainment is on. I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're saying. Oh, TV. Oh, for fake entertainment? I don't know. Steve says, Mr. Don being sweet. How nice. I agree. Yep. He's like, I got to get in good with those people down there. We don't know. Yeah, that's awesome, Dawn. Andy says, yep, I agree. Dawn says, when he said that, I told him he could pick them all tomorrow before you leave. He said he would cover them. I guess it's easier than picking them all. Well, you're right. Before you leave, right? You got to get up early. Hey, Linda. Linda's here. Hello, quail friends. Hello, Katrina. Welcome. Hopefully you're doing well and taking care of yourself. I saw the email came out from Quail University. She is the email queen with Quail University, and that was a good little video on grit. Awesome. If you haven't taken Quail University yet, I do have a affiliate link for a 101 course, and here is that. You're welcome to use my affiliate link, and it's a really, really good course. It's very full, very, very complete, very good. Yep. Everybody say hi, Linda. Verna says I have to get 2 big pots for your new treasures. Yes, yes. And Ed says awesome, Dawn. Yep. 2 pigs. No, Andy Rabbit says she thought Verna said she needs 2 pigs. Yeah, if she gets property, yeah, sure, right? No, I think if you get property, you're getting goat, right? Dawn says I still have 4 other videos I need to watch like today. 2 are on black cumin seed, 2 and 1 is 2 hours long. Wow. Yeah, cumin is good. Cumin is good. Yeah. And if you have it, if you guys have herb seeds like cumin or fennel or what is it called? Coriander. Like those are things that if it's fresher seed, you can totally plant that. You can plant garbanzo beans from the package you get in the store, right? Unless you want a specific variety. I mean, you're going to pay less for the big thing of garbanzo beans in the store than for, 20 seeds for garbanzo beans and a seed packet. Beans are the same way. For me, garbanzo beans are planted about right now. And so is fava beans. But you don't have to get special varieties unless you want those special varieties. If you want to get whatever's in the store, those will grow. You just have to soak them. The first time I did that, I actually had soaked too many garbanzo beans to make hummus. And I'm like, I'm going to see if these grow. And I just stuck them all over the yard in the wood chips. And it happened to be a wetter winter, and I didn't even have to water them. And I got garbanzo beans. So it's worth it to think about that. Yeah. All right. And Brenda says she has 171 videos right now. Awesome. I don't know what JDF is either. JFD, whatever. Oh, got it. Just freaking dies, as in laughing. Got it. A spider plant. Yeah, Verna, I like spider plants. I have one out on the front that I keep forgetting to water. That always great, It comes back to life really quickly, though. Bob says we made some copper coil antennas and snuck them in the garden areas with the top facing north. Electroculture is what they call it. I use a multimeter and indeed saw a current present. Results, maybe some improvement. Okay. Yeah, if that was what Silver Creek is, that's what you were asking about. I have no idea about that. I do know that slugs and snails will not cross copper, so the copper tape is actually something that works. They also will not cross cinnamon. Neither will ants. If you want to spend your money on that much cinnamon, go right ahead. Yeah. JJ's here. Welcome, JJ. Says, hi, sorry, late. Got lost in the basement. Well, I'm glad you found your way out. Glad you found your way out. Oh, boy. Verna says, no, it's Mooney that he bred with. Okay. Yeah. And I have to scroll up. Okay. Oh, Verna says it looked like Bucky didn't know what to do. He might not if he's a first timer. Yeah, Parmesan is getting old, and that's the reason why there was only one fall off for each of them, and it took forever. I think it's him. I mean, that's the girl's first time too, but I think it's him. So we will see how he does, and we may have to get another buck. Yeah. He's a good boy. Don says to JJ, hey, and lost in your basement? And he says, I know what in the closet means, but not in the basement. Oh, boy. And JJ says, ran into the Christmas and baby boxes while doing laundry. 2 hours later, clothes are still in dryer. I get this. Yep. Stuff like that happens. Don says, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Andrew Rabbit says, Verna, even though rabbits don't go into heat, the dough does cycle. Yeah. Yeah, the dough cycles. My understanding is the act helps the dough, or like that kind of instigate cycling. Verna says, that's why I figured Andy, all Bucky was interested in doing is giving her kisses. Parmesan does this too. He will clean their ears, and then he'll clean his feet. And I don't know how his feet are getting dirty in between sessions, but he thinks they are. Yeah, he definitely does that to anybody who visits. Well, any lady who visits, at least. Lady Bunny. Yeah. I mean, at least it's kisses, right? At least it's kisses. Andy says, oh, JJ, the basement is lost memories. Got it. Yep. Absolutely. It's not as bad as being put on the roof. Don says, I never liked fried green tomatoes, and my daughter loves them. They're okay. To me, I think they're okay. Yeah. And Verna says the same. She likes, or she didn't, but her kids love them. Yeah, so Verna, it's going to seed and it's still growing. Yeah, it's amazing. And that one was like this big when I pulled it out. I mean, it was a volunteer. It started with seed. Hi. Yeah. Silver Creek says, just catching up, Bay. Yeah, tiger, rabbit. This is why you don't trust Google. I was going off. Oh boy. Volster Farm says, oh girl, I'm cooking you some fried green tomatoes one day and you will be converted and hooked. All right. We will expect these things. I didn't say they're bad. I said they were okay. I said they're good. Yeah. Don says, I use rope lights in my cages. I do too. Well, in my aviary. Berta says, Mandy, you would have a mess to clean up. It is a texture thing with me. Oh, yeah. You did believe I have faith in you? Yep. JJ's laughing. Yeah, we're supposed to have a frost tonight. I used my old greenhouse plastic to cover this year. That's good. That's a good idea. I mean, you can use anything. So we are a little past 7, so I'm just going to talk about the topic of discussion, which was getting ready for winter. So that goes right into it. So around here, we are starting to see more foggy days. We're starting to see some cloudy days. There's some minute potential rain in the forecast. And so I know when that happens for me, a lot of you guys are in areas that freeze this early. It doesn't freeze this early for me. But I want to talk about some of the things you can do to extend your season. And part of that is to cover things. And you can cover things with plastic. You can cover things with sheets. You can cover it with a lot of things. The things you need to be careful about with doing that, if you have something that pollinates during winter. So here, the citrus pollinates during winter for the majority of it. Now, I used to, when the plants were little, I would put Christmas lights on them. And boy, that was expensive because I was using the heat light, what is it, a C9? Yeah, that was a big bill. Don't do that. You can use the little tiny twinkle lights and it will warm the air enough if you're in the right part of the right part of the country. And so then I went to putting sheets over them. And the thing about using the sheets is it is more efficient electricity wise. But if you want your flowers to be pollinated, you have to take those sheets off, right? Just putting the lights on, you don't have to take off the lights, right? The lights can stay on. They can kick on. You can have a thermocube. I think I'm going to spell this right. You can have a thermocube that will tell that outlet when to kick on. You can do a timer so that you only kick it on during the frost time or during the freeze time. And then the other thing to think about with a sheet technique is if it gets wet, it's going to freeze. So make sure that you either know that you're going to lose some leaves on the top if it does freeze, or you have to put in posts for the sheet to go over so it doesn't touch the plant. So as long as you know those things, you're good. Another thing to think about is your water. So around here, I typically leave the water on unless it's going to actually rain, and then I'll turn off, basically rain delay, but I actually turn it off, which maybe I should just get ones that have rain delay. But I turn it to off until that rain passes, and then I can turn the system back on. If you are watering when it's raining, it can do a couple of things. So if it's raining enough for your plants, then you will get enough rain. The rainwater has so much more good stuff in it than your faucet water. So it actually, your plants will grow better with rainwater than they will with water just out of the faucet. And so if you're doing that, if you are watering after it rains and the plants have that water available and then you water, you can wash out a lot of that good stuff, and you'll also be overwatering, and that can cause things like root rot and other issues if you overwater. So that's something to pay attention to is one, how are you covering your plants? Are you covering your plants? You don't have to, but if you are going to, it will extend your season. Two, figuring out how you're covering them. Are you touching the material to the plants? Do you care about that? Do you not care about that? Are you using a frame? Are you using like a hoop that you can do with PVC or a piece of wire? There's lots of different ways that you can do that. You can also take things inside. I have green stalks, and those will go inside the screen and porch, and they will do just fine in there. So that's another thing, is to bring things inside. You guys saw you didn't see it. There's going to be a video, I think tomorrow, for some pepper harvesting. And so I will be bringing that green stalk, which has a bunch of peppers in it, that the majority of the peppers that are in it right now were in there last year. So I actually took them inside overwintered. So if you have pepper plants that you really like, you're like, wow, I really like this variety, dig it up, put it in a pot, bring it inside. Even if you want to trim it way back and dig it up and put it in a pot and bring it inside, as long as that material is alive, it will be alive next year. And what will happen is you will get fruit way ahead of everybody else because you're not planting by seed. It doesn't have to take months and months to grow into a plant that can flower. It's already a plant that can flower, and it will do really well. So that's another thing, is think about those plants that you can overwinter and want to overwinter, then you can do that. And then the water system, make sure that you know what you're doing with your water and pay attention if it's off for too long, which happens, or if it's on when it shouldn't be. The other thing to think about is if you're in an area that freezes, it's a good idea to blow your pipes out. So if you're not going to be watering and you know it's going to freeze, if you can have a landscape person do this, or if you have a compressor, you can do it yourself. And that's basically blowing the pipes out with air, so that they don't have water in them and they don't freeze. Because what will happen over winter is you will have water. If you have water in there, is things will freeze, but then you won't know about it until you run your system in the spring. And if you do that, you have the danger of when things freeze, they expand. And if they're expanding, then you can crack things, you can break things, you can break the connections and all of that. So If you guys want to put anything else to think about for winter, another thing is watering your animals. Where I am, I don't really have to pay attention to that because my system works for where I am. It's only ever gotten down to 22 degrees, which is beyond freezing, but it's at night. And within a couple hours, I have the little tiny 1/4 inch hoses that go from the water faucet to the animal waters. They thaw out just fine within a couple hours. But if you live somewhere that freezes and you have an automatic system like I do for my water, you're going to want to either use heat tape on that and protect the actual faucet and all of that. People use aquarium heaters. I know, Bob, you were talking about that the other day. People use bubblers in like aquarium bubblers in their buckets if they just have a bucket system, and if it's not too cold, that can work. And then I know like slightly redneck uses is it Rent-A-Coop that he uses? I don't know, but he can look up his channel, and he uses for his quail, he uses an electric heated waterer for his quail. So I'm going to leave it to you guys to, as I go through the comments more, I'll leave it to you guys to share what you guys use or ideas that you have for overwintering, because they're getting into it. All right, let's see what people say. Okay. Witch Doctor's here. Hello. Welcome. And Verna says, "You got that right, Katrina. I would rather have goats instead of pigs." I thought you might. JJ says, "I stopped at the math part. My brain is too flighty right now. We'll pick up quail you once the weather changes." Yeah, so the math part, like, honestly, you can skip that and come back to it. I mean, it doesn't have to be done in order. You don't even have to, like, if you don't want to, you don't have to think that through. It's there for you to understand what you need. So like how many birds you need, how many eggs you're going to get, how much food you're going to need. But if you don't really need to figure it out, then that's fine. And that's what's good about Quail University, is that if you just not enjoying a section, or maybe it doesn't apply right now, it'll apply later, or hey, this section over here applies to me right now, I need to know this now. You don't have to go in order. You can skip around and do whatever section you want when you have interest of that section. Yeah. Witch Doctor says, "Hey Verna, and I want goats too, but I love bacon." Goats don't make bacon. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. If you could get a goat to make bacon, we might have to talk. Now, can you trade goat milk for bacon? Maybe goats do make bacon. Get creative here, Witch Doctor. Brenna says, "You just have to wash them because usually the herb seeds are treated with chemical to stop them from sprouting." Yeah, I mean, if you're I was soaking them anyway. So we're talking about garbanzo beans and that kind of stuff. I was soaking them anyway, so they sprouted. And I actually wonder how often that is true, because I've heard that about sweet potatoes and stuff, and I've had so many sprout. I wonder if that's something that they've told people that really isn't true, but I'm not in that line of work, so I don't have an answer. JJ says, "We buy half a hog from a local farmer. We don't have room for a pig. Just have room for half a pig." That's a good idea. Dawn says, "Katrina, the black cumin seeds are from Egypt. Make black seed oil and tea and powder with it." That is awesome. Cycle Words here. Hello, everyone. Hello, Ricky. Welcome. And you guys just jumped, so hang on a minute. All right. And Verna says you need more than an acre if you want pigs, but you can have goats on an acre. So you don't need more than an acre to have pigs, but you would have to raise them on deep litter. So you could do it, but it depends on if you want to do it that way. JJ says, my fig tree never gave any figs. It's about 4 feet and will die back come winter. JJ, is it from a seed? Or is it from a seed, or is it from a graft or a stick, a rooted stick? Closer Farm says 9 p.m. guys, gotta go bed early morning again. Fun chat tonight all. See you next week. Good night, Mandy and Dan. Hope you had a good time on here. JJ says, will I ever have figs? Yeah, you'll have figs. My neighbor had a fig that they named Figgy. And it took years before it had figs, but they found it. What is the story? I might be getting them mixed up because they had a couple of them, but I think that was the one that they found in like her mother-in-law's yard in the drainage, like in a great drainage, and something had fallen down, and we don't know if it was a seed that fell there or a stick that got in there, but it was growing out of the drain. And I think that's the one. And they dug it up and planted it, and just in the last couple of years is when it started fruiting. So there you go. Yeah. Psycho Word says we have been watching all the people using copper wire in the gardens also. Yeah, okay, so I was asked about that by Silver Creek, and I totally missed the point. I think you guys got a really good answer for a question you didn't ask. I have no experience with that. That's the answer for my question, or from that question. And Verna says you might want to bring the fig in the winter, JJ. Yeah, I don't know. I know my figs are figging. They're fruiting right now. Yeah. And they'll continue to fruit for probably another month, I'm guessing. It's a little late. Usually it starts the end of August, but I don't know, things seem like they're about a month late right now. JJ says, I used a copper antenna and no bugs on beans and corn and grew about 3 times bigger with no fertilizer. I was impressed. Interesting. I will have to read up on that. Eric's here. Welcome, Eric, and thank you for the super sticker. Welcome. Man, and you got on here right after Mandy left. She was waiting for some jokes. Hope you're doing well. Steve says, oh, look, Eric's here. It's about to be dad hour. Oh, boy. Oh, Mooney's due next week? Oh, wow. Okay. Andy Rabbit says, cycle of a doe. Some days she is more willing. Other days the doe might not be so happy about it. During the more willing days, the buck can smell them, I believe. The bucks get more hyper in their cage. Yeah, I think for my buck, Parmesan, he's just a chill dude, and I don't actually know how old he is because he didn't come with the girls that came with him had like their birthday and all that, and he didn't have anything like there wasn't a spreadsheet on him at all. Yeah, so I don't know how old he is. I'm assuming he's probably about as old as well. My original does are all gone now, but I think he's probably about their age. Just if I had to guess. Steve says, Andy, so just like humans, being in the mood. Oh boy. Yep, Verna, that's kind of what you have to do. Do it every day until you get a fall off. Yep. Dawn says, it is 9:05, so I have to get off for the night. Everyone have a great night. Have a wonderful night, Dawn. Hopefully you had good time on here. Verna says, I want to know something funny. Bucky chewed on my hair the day before. Yeah, Rabbits will chew your hair. Yep. Sometimes I put my face in so they can smell me and stuff, and then I feel a little jump. I'm like, nope, you can't do that. They will chew your hair. They will chew each other's whiskers. When Ravioli and Rigatoni were in the same enclosure, Ravioli, I think it was, didn't have, she had like nubs. Like, why are you chewing on your sister? Yeah. Cycle Ward says they have dated people using that copper wire in gardens back in the 1700s. So crazy. Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't know anything like about what it's supposed to do. I know it's supposed to be good, but I don't know what. So I have no opinion yet. Verna says I will pull my sheet off after the morning walk with Lucy. Yeah, so that's the thing, is that you have to uncover them. You don't really have to uncover them every day if you don't want to, but it's best. Yeah. Eric's saying hello, just finished. Hello, Eric, welcome. Oh, just finished communion mass at church and rosary. Prayer group. Sorry, I'm super late. That is okay. That is okay. Mandy was hoping for some jokes. She left right before you got on. Brenda says, Eric, you are fine. We appreciate any time you can give us. Absolutely. Absolutely. And tomorrow is also my 43rd birthday, for Eric says. Happy birthday. Happy early birthday. That is awesome. Steve has to swap chicks into new breeder. All right. All right. And Verna's saying, blessed natal day, Eric. JJ says, I took old copper wire with... I took old copper wire and wound it around 8-foot tomato stack on the north side of the beans and corn. Nothing happened until the first rain after installation. Interesting. And Buster's also saying happy early birthday, Eric. Yes, happy birthday. Verna says, there isn't any way I can bring my green stalk inside. That is 13 snares. I would have to bring it up. No, it's unfortunate you guys don't have like a little like an entryway with plants or something. That would be a little bit extra protection. Yeah. So Witch Doctor is going to frost there too? It says, I think I'm going to bring my pots in tonight. Yep. Would that work with tomatoes? Would what work? You can cover tomatoes and extend their period of time. If it's a frost, if it's a freeze, they're not gonna be. I mean, you can try and you'll get it a little bit further, but I think in your area, at some point, it just wouldn't work. Yeah, but you can try season extension. JJ says, happy birthday to Eric with birthday cake. Andy says my battery died, so I'll say bye. It's probably from hitting all those hearts. I'll just have to say. Oh, Eric's laughing. JJ says, hubby ran over my water system with a lawnmower, so I don't have to worry about draining it. How thoughtful. Is he going to put in a new one for you in the spring? Oh boy. Andy says she's going to bed, but I don't know if I believe her. Witch Doctor says, Verna, can you put press and seal over it? Oh, over the green stalk? You mean like make a hoop house kind of thing over it? She has a lot of plants in there that are still growing like outwards. So that might be difficult. Psycho Word says, I watch Deep South Homestead. He does it also in his garden. Okay. Oh my goodness, Eric. Thank you for the super sticker. And happy birthday. Happy birthday. JJ says, I will check them out. Yeah. I've seen some of his stuff. It's older, and I haven't seen his newer stuff, so I haven't seen the newer stuff. Yeah. Verna says, press and seal over what? I think she's talking about the tomato, the green stalk. I don't know. Witch Doctor says, I just love you, Katrina. You make us laugh. Oh, hopefully in a good way. Hopefully in a good way. You're pretty great too. And you guys jumped. You gotta go back up. All right, JJ says, being dyslexic and then being hit by a cement truck, it is a ton of work to do the math part. I'm just being lazy. I will do it because it's good brain work. So JJ, part of in the Quail University spreadsheets, part of the really good thing that Linda did with that is you only have to enter certain things. Like ignore everything on that sheet except for where you enter. And I think she made it a different color. I don't remember what the color is. But only enter those things, ignore the rest of it, and it will pop out an answer. Like that's the beauty of the spreadsheets is all the formulas are in there already. All that's in there. You just put it in and pop it out. So yeah, it's good. I hear zoomies. They happen. We hear the girls, the little girls, the black ones, they don't do that really anymore. But if I come outside and Parmesan hears the door, he'll do zoomies. He'll be like, oh, what's going on? You're coming over here, right? Yeah, he's a cutie. Eric says, I want to grow my own food, but I can't find bacon seeds. Eric, you can trade. You can trade for bacon, I'm sure. I'm sure there's something that a bacon farmer out there would want that you could maybe grow. Like maybe you could do like sprouts. Grow some sprouts. It would be a lot of sprouts to be worth bacon, but there you go. And Verna says, Eric, get a hold of Zach. He may have some bacon seeds. I think his bacon seeds are getting bigger though. They're no longer seeds. They're now sprouts. Witch Doctor says, I read zombies. Well, 'tis the season. Another thing that you're going to see a lot this month, if you're in the area they exist, is tarantulas. So we have tarantulas, not in the neighborhood, but we have them in the area. And October is when they are looking for love. And if you see a tarantula crossing the road, please avoid it. It's usually the males that are out gallivanting around. And I don't know that the tarantulas gallivant, but I would like to see one gallivant. And they how you know if a tarantula is boy or girl? Hey, we're going to do this right now. Okay. Boy tarantulas, on their front leg, they have a little hook back here. And that is for picking up the girl tarantula by the fangs so that he can do his duty, which he does with a pocket of stuff. There's a pocket in the foot where he puts his stuff and then gives it to her. Isn't that romantic? Hopefully that was PC enough that things are okay. But yeah, so the males have a hook on the front leg, and that is for mating. They also have a smaller abdomen. The ladies pretty much stay home most of the time. You'll see them out every once in a while during October. But they are mostly stay home, and they have a much wider abdomen, and then they don't have the hook on the front leg. So there's a random fact for you, Halloween people. There you go. And there's multiple kinds of tarantulas. And no, I don't know I don't know how far east they go. Yeah. JJ agrees with Eric. You want bacon seeds? Psycho Warrior wants bacon seeds too. I like bacon. I like sausage. I could, pork. If there was a a pig that just grew bacon and sausage, I would be more likely to want to grow that. I don't know how different parts can taste so different. Yeah. Oh, Verna's saying it's Bucky wants attention. Yeah, he's doing zoomies. He's like, I know you're out there. JJ says my fig tree is from a small tree and is about 1 year old. So it's from a stick. If it's 1 year old, it might still be working on roots. Yeah, my figs so the ones that are over by the main quail aviary, which that path is disappearing quickly, I don't even know what year it was that I put them in there because I wasn't paying attention and I put them in and they were labeled when I put them in, and now who knows where the labels are. But those were sticks from a scion exchange, and they've just started growing, and they've been in there for at least 3 years. And then I'm expecting that since they've started to grow, maybe next year they'll want to fruit. We'll see if that's true or not. But they grew 5-6 feet this year, and they've only been like this big, maybe this big, until now. So I think they take time to get enough roots. Yeah. And the same is true with the curry leaf trees that I just got. If you guys saw that video, talking with the people there, they say it stays pretty small for the first couple years and then they start growing. Yeah. Oh, you've had it for a year. It might be older. And Verna says to bring it in a year or two, you'll have figs. Okay. Verna, is that because it keeps growing when it's inside for the winter, or does it still go dormant in the winter? JJ says, I'm afraid I'll kill it if I bring it in. I did root cuttings, so I might bring one of those in. Yeah, might as well. You experiment. Yeah. Surround it with straw and insulate it. Yeah, that's a good idea. Straw or leaves will be good. Yeah. Cycle Word says they're calling it electroculture. Should be when they use the copper twisting tubes in the garden. I've heard electroculture. I just don't have any knowledge of how it's supposed to work and all that. But try it and let us know how it works. Make sure you have a control, though. That's the thing with some of these things. People say, oh, this works great. It's like, did you have a control? Did you try it without? No? Then how do you know it works great? So if you're going to test it and you're going to say, yes, it works great, do a one without and one with. I don't know how far it's supposed to go or anything, but yeah. JJ says, good idea. I will. Yeah. Yeah, mulching things is really important. I know that with the plants here, I do the wood chips, and the amount of protection that gives the plants is tremendous from heat, and it keeps the moisture as well. Now it can give too much moisture if it rains a lot, like last year, and the citrus all looked terrible at that point. But it in general, it will do good, and you might have to find your right balance. And for you, mulch might be better if it's leaves and straw. Yeah, there you go. Verna says, yeah, today is the 9th. She is due about the 16th. Okay. And it will, okay, to only will cover them when they're a frost advisory. Yeah. Witch Doctor says, happy birthday to Eric. JJ says, hubby laughed at me when I tried the copper antennas, but after he saw the beans growing waist high, he bought copper wire home so I could make more. Oh, wow. I don't know. I'm gonna have to research into that. And Verna says, I think where the chard is growing, I'm going to plant my saffron. Awesome. Witch Doctor says it says our low is 42, but the Govee showed 32 last night. So there is whenever I check the temperature for the thing right here that's like on the porch. Whenever I ask Manuel what the temperature is, he checks his phone. I said, no, it's not that. It's what's outside the door every single time. And it is, we're always at least 5 degrees warmer. And I don't know how many degrees colder than in the cold time. But in the summertime, we're always at least between 5 and 7 degrees hotter. Yeah. Yeah. Gotta scroll up. Steve says, we learned all about black seed oil on Saturday on another YouTube live. Awesome. Was it, Verna? I missed the live. I was going to be on there. I messaged Verna because this happened when I got injured. It happened Friday night. So yeah, I messaged her. I'm like, this might not be happening. Oh, for those that are late, I got hit in the head with a volleyball on Friday. And I got I think it was like a sideways whiplash. It's doing much better now, but like everything went this way. It was a serve. It was going out. I was trying to duck out of the way. I was not fast enough. So there you go. I'm fine, but it's sore. Yeah. And JJ says, I'm so excited about saffron. I got mine last week and already in the ground and a few in a pot for inside. Awesome. Awesome. I'm so happy you guys are growing saffron. Yeah, I'm hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I was wanting to get it out earlier than I did, but I kind of forgot about it. And yeah, but hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. If you haven't seen it yet, it's a pretty well-rounded video, and you get to see how my style has changed through the last year of filming. I don't know if you guys picked up on stuff, but I definitely picked up on stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Verna says, yeah, from my guest. Ooh. Very cool. Yeah, JJ says, sounds interesting, Steve. Which live was it? I think it was Verna's. Yep, Coffee with Vay. You can watch the replay. Did you rhyme on purpose? Buster says, Steve, that was some good information. We like good information. Eric says, how do you know what kind of baby Katrina is having? when she says, oh boy. No baby. No baby. Boy. JJ says, ooh, spreadsheets do the math for you. I like that. That, JJ, that is absolutely what Excel is all about, which is what spreadsheets are. It's all about doing the math for you. You can do so much in Excel that it is awesome. It is so awesome because you just put in as long as your equations are correct, you got to check that, then whatever you put in, you just put in your data and it spits out the answer. So as long as your formulas are correct, and that's what Linda's done with Quail University, is she's done those formulas and they are correct. And so you only need to put in certain things to get your answer. Yeah. And Steve says, yes, JJ, it's fill in the blank and you can play around with it. Exactly. So like if you want to, you'd like, oh, I have this many quail. What's my answer? Oh, well, I really want more of that. So how much more do I need to get? And you can play around with it to see where you end up. Or, I really have too many. I want to back off a little bit. How much do I back off by to get this? And you can find your answer. Yeah. Yep. Psycho Sword says, my wife is also the one that told me about the copper wire deal. Very good. Very good. Which doctor says, I love tarantula. Great pest control. Yep. They don't come out of their burrows very often, but when they do, they're hungry. Steve says that includes human pests too. Oh boy. Witch Doctor says such a sweet date night, but oh, did have a pet tarantula before. Yeah, they actually have, and I don't know when it probably already happened. It usually happens, I think, like the first weekend in October. But up at Henry Coast State Park, the local park here, they have a tarantula festival, which is really just people talking about tarantulas and tarantula hikes, and like kids get to meet a tarantula and hold one in their hand and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. Um, they're pretty cool. Eric says, I tried to kill a spider with hairspray today. He's still alive, but his hair looks outstanding. Oh boy. Spiders are good. Spiders are good in most cases. I did a short on I couldn't get the light right. Well, because, it's the sun and it was underneath an umbrella. But I did a short last week or this weekend or something for that crazy looking spider in the green stalk. And when it's in the light, like the fangs are green, like they're like shiny green, like someone, painted them with fingernail polish or something. They're really neat looking in the light, but it was in the shade, so you guys didn't get the full effect. JJ says, I did the easiest copper antenna, nothing fancy, so anyone can try it to see if it will work for them. All right. I am going to have to look this up at some point. They have orange ones in Arkansas, Verna says. The tarantulas. Yeah, we have, I don't even remember what it's called. It's probably like Californian tarantula or Western Californian something. Yeah. But yeah, there's all sorts of different ones. There's all sorts of different colors. Like there's a lot of different colors. But we just have plain old brown. Yeah. Eric is saying day 4 of social distancing, struck up a conversation with a spider today. Seems nice. He's a web designer. Boy, oh boy. Oh my goodness. And Buster's laughing at you. Britta says, how to Rue just say okay. Yeah. Sometimes it sounds like they're talking, huh? Yeah. Eric says, what is Spider-Man's job? He's a web developer. Oh boy. So it was in the news apparently that spiders were ballooning. If you guys don't know what that is, when spiders travel on air, what they do is they make a little balloon out of their webbing, which could just be, a line of web, or it could be a thick globby thing. And the wind picks it up and they fly away. And so, yes, spiders fly. Dun, dun, dun. But that was in the news. I guess there was a really big one at work that our admin told us about, because we work mainly from home. Yeah. And you guys jumped. Hang on, I gotta get back. And JJ says, love it, Eric. And Eric says, oh, we already did that one. Verna says, it keeps growing inside, doesn't have winter wind inside. We're talking about her fig. That's good. So that would make sense why that would fruit earlier, is because it's keeping growing instead of having a winter. JJ says in zone 6, fig dies to the ground in winter. Okay. Also good to know. When it comes back? Eric says, where does Spider-Man go for help with his homework? The World Wide Web, of course. So Verna's getting at what I was going to say, is figs only grow on old limbs, not the green ones. So if it dies to the ground every year, it's regrowing and you need it to get another year. Yeah. JJ says, I have an artichoke that will need major mulching. Artichokes are yummy. Yummy, yummy. And JJ says, yeah, to Verna, I didn't know that. Yeah, and like there may be exceptions to every type of thing, like, certain things need pollinators except for this variety, or certain things do this except for this. But as a general rule, it's important to pay attention. If you want fruit, it's important to pay attention to general fruit rules, like, peaches and plums, they generally will fruit on second year wood. Apples have those spurs, and cherries do too. So when you pick them, you don't want to pick the spurs, the budding spurs. They're called something else. I'm not getting it right now. But yeah, so important to look at the type of fruit you have and pick and prune accordingly. Yeah. Sorry, I'm yawning. Eric says, my fake plants died because I didn't pretend to water them. Happens. It happens. Verna says, when you see two bumps on the limbs, one will be a leaf bud, the other will be a fig bud. Yep. So you have your fruiting bud and your leaf bud. Eric says, when spring finally arrives, I get so excited that I wet my plants. You got Verna going on that one, Eric. Oh, boy. Witch Doctor says, so they say if you see this orange and black caterpillar thing, you're in for bad weather. I just saw an all black one. Might not be the same species. I just saw a short on that today, and I have not heard this, but there are different species of caterpillars, so that's one thing to pay attention to. And there are different, I don't know caterpillars specifically. However, I know that there's same species with different morphologies. And I mean, it's kind of like saying a blue-eyed or brown-eyed, I don't know that that's actually a thing. What might be a driver is if conditions are good for this type of caterpillar, and maybe it's better conditions to this type of caterpillar than this type of caterpillar, which has different coloring, then you might see more of this one than this one. Maybe that would have some truth to it, but I find it interesting that would be something that people would rely on if it is the same species. So I would say if it's different species and one is having more success because of something happening, that might be more, I'm going to have some of my cucumber water that I haven't had since I've been sitting here. Silver, slice your cucumbers. Bruno says, told you, Mel, that would be a bad one. JJ's saying, Witch Doctor, I haven't seen any. I was taught that if it is super fuzzy, then winter will be bad. I don't know. JJ says, I wonder what kind of winter it will be if it's black and super fuzzy. Oh, prepare, right? Prepare. And Witch Doctor says it was super fuzzy like a husky dog. Did it have a curly tail? Blizzards is Verna's answer. I have no, just what my thinking is from just my opinion based on nothing. I have a feeling we're going to have a repeat of last year. I have a feeling we're going to have a wet winter. Just a feeling I had. I had a feeling last winter that it was going to be a wet winter, and it was. But I have a feeling it's going to be a repeat. We'll see, though. We shall see. JJ's laughing at Witch Doctor and Verna. Eric says, so I asked my cleaning agent the other day if they could plant some seeds in my yard this weekend. Not sure if they will do a good job, but let's hope so. Let's hope so. Oh my gosh. That's a reacher. Eric. Spring is right around the corner. It's time to mow. Lay seeds and plant flowers. But you can't do that if you haven't bought any. Oh boy. Verna says the ones that are orange are not poisonous. We're talking about tarantulas. Spiders of any kind have some sort of effect because that's what they do to their prey. Right. Spiders don't generally munch their prey. They generally go, hey, I'm going to inject you, and then slurp. So I wouldn't say they were not poisonous. I would say maybe they're not deadly or won't cause you severe issues unless you're allergic. Because there's always that chance that somebody's allergic, right? Yeah. Eric says, what do you call an angry carrot? A steamed veggie. Steamed. Say that again or I'll joke you. Breaking them out today. Steve says, question about the volleyball game. Did you sell any eggs? I have not been bringing eggs to volleyball because basically there's like 2 people that buy them sometimes, and I should just approach them outside of volleyball because everybody else who's in there is a kid, and everybody who used to buy them from me is no longer going there because it is inundated with kids, unfortunately. So yeah, I have not been bringing them. Yeah, my egg selling I haven't sold eggs in a while now. It's, for me, I reduced my number so that it's just what we need, what I can handle. And I figure if that comes out later that people are wanting them, then I can always increase that. But right now in my area, for them, and I was selling them basically super cheap to people too, that went to volleyball, just because they were my first ones, and income isn't that high in general for the group, so I figured that was a good thing. So I should reach out to them individually and ask if they want to do that. But other than that, nope. People in Gilroy tend to think that they are cute, too cute to eat. What do you do with them, even though I told them what to do with them and they don't know what to do with them? Or they go to San Jose for stuff anyway, and they're coming back with them for $2 a dozen, which I'm not going to sell them at $2 a dozen. Yeah. There you go. There's your sad answer. Eric says, just been in our local shop and some bloke starts throwing eggs, milk, and cream at me. How dare he? Oh boy. Eric says, all of the things that taste like chicken. It's weird that eggs are not one of them. It is weird. And maybe everything tastes like rattlesnake, Eric. We don't know. Yeah. All right. Eric says, time for me to rehab my walking. Good night, Eric, and happy birthday. Happy early birthday. Hope you're having a good one. Yeah. And Verna says, Katrina, we were talking about the woolly caterpillar. Every time I see the word caterpillar, it's very hard to me to say because my cousin's kid, when he was little, we went on a hike and we saw so many of them, and he said it wrong every single time. And it's still in my head, and he's in college now. Calipitter is what he would say. Calipitter. And so that's what it is to me now, because it was in my head all day and it just took one day. Yeah, I know that's what you're talking about. But there could be different species or different morphologies. I don't know. And versus not poisonous to humans. I mean, I would argue that if you get bit and you swell, or if you get bit and you get itchy, it is something that's happening to you, but it not as much as liquefaction as a bug. Yeah. Steve says, spiders are okay unless you are on your way to Mordor. They're not that big. Not that big. All right, guys. Is it a general consensus that the heart thing is annoying? Should I try to remove it next time? Or try to remember to remove it next time? I know I can. I know how to do it. I just want to know if you guys find it annoying or if anybody likes it. Yeah. Yes, Verna says. All right. I will attempt to remember to turn it off. Heart thing is annoying. Okay. We will get rid of that. I don't know. Was that Andy Rabbit? I'm joking. All right, guys. We have anything else to talk about? Because it looks like we're coming to an end of the conversation. Hopefully, everybody had a good time and we got some good information about winter stuff and actually quite a few other topics. Yeah. Thanks for the live, Buster says. You're welcome. We still have. You still have what? What heart thing? We still have hearts. The thing in the lower right-hand corner of the chat is a heart with a circle on it, JJ. And if you click it, it makes hearts go like everywhere. Yeah. And it blocks the last Nye is not a word. N-I-E. That's not a word I know. Line. It blocks the last line. Yes, that. Now you see it, JJ. Is JJ messing with it? Always a good time, Katrina. JJ, Ed says. And JJ says, thank you for the live and community. Absolutely. I don't have heart. You don't have a heart. You should always have a heart. Hey, that's okay. That's okay. I don't know why, but it's okay. Oh boy, rearrange a line. Got it. All right, guys. I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you for spending time with me and having a fun time. It's always a good time. Again, next week I should be here. If I'm not, I'm stuck on an airplane. But next week I should be here same time, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And have a wonderful, wonderful week. And hopefully if you're in the path of the eclipse, you can see it. If you're not and you're close, go to it because they're fun to see. I think we're not going to have one in the United States for a while that has the ring and fire. Next April, I think there's going to be another full eclipse. But yeah, have a fun time. All right, we'll see you guys later. Have a wonderful week.